Okie dokie. So, just before I started, I went through my weapons. I had R2 coming out from nowhere, becoming more and more common. I was gonna put a little bit of work into the Great Scythe, and then I thought I've never actually used the Twin Daggers, and I wasted all that time yesterday going to get them anyway. So I figured I might as well make some use out of them. The weapon that I'm going to be picking up and actually investing in is also a double weapon. So when I two-hand the Twin Daggers, I just get a second one, and I can do some fun little combos with them. But the twin weapons that I'm looking for are swords. They're curved swords, so you have even more fun combos. So I didn't actually mention, but I'm sure you probably noticed that weapons have skills now. So when a weapon is held in two hands and you use the L2 button, you do your skill. So for these, it's a quick step. So it's kind of like an extra dodge, but you use FP, so that blue bar. But different weapons have different ones. Some of them are pretty cool. Some shields, like you can see there, like the skill for this one's parry and the skill for this one is weapon skill. So if I equip a shield that just has weapon skill, when I use the L2 button while one-handing, it'll allow me to do the skill, even while having the shield out. So that might be something to look into if you're actually using your skill often. But anyway, the quick step can be useful for getting through tough terrain. So like swamp and water, you can use the quick step and you'll move that speed through it, and you can use it. Like you can see, my FP bar is empty now, but I'm still able to use it. So this can help you get through swamps and stuff easy. So even, I would suggest just, you're probably gonna, I'm just thinking, well, you'll probably pick up the Twin Daggers anyway eventually. But we're gonna come up on a swamp area fairly soon. It's definitely not as bad as Blighttown, but we're gonna come up on a swamp area soon. So having a dagger that you can equip even in like your offhand, so that you can use the weapon art, will help you get through the swamp without getting goofed by the enemies. But yeah, I'm gonna try out the Twin Daggers for something different. The deep axe isn't gonna be good. It's gonna fall off pretty hard in this next area, so I will skip that. I'll burn my bone shard. I'm gonna double check to make sure I didn't have Estus shards. Nope. Okay, I am going to get the Eye Ring. With the twin blades, any paired weapons, or I should say any quick paired weapons, having the eye rings is really good because it's all about successive attacks. So when you're two-handing these and you're doing flurries of attacks all at once and hitting the same enemy, a dozen times in rapid succession, you're building that meter really, really fast for the rings. There's a left and right eye, but the right is much later in the game. But we'll get there. So right now, it's nice that we can have this silver serpent ring equipped the whole time. It just gives us more souls for this early stuff. Chlorancy Ring is good, left eye is good, and blue tear stone is kind of just here until I find something better. Flynn's ring can be better. Yeah, I guess it's adding a couple points of damage. I might as well equip that instead. It's not doing much. It really only does the most work if you're it really only does the most work if you are not wearing any armor whatsoever. Is that gonna put me into a... Yeah, whatever. Better than nothing, I guess. Okay, so we don't... No, we don't need to go back to the Pit of Hollows. We've done what we need to do there. Just trying to make sure there's not loose ends left that I forgot about. But I think I'm good to just head on to the Road of Sacrifices. So this is our next spot. So this is below the tower where the giant is, and where we find Sigurd, and where we find this Outrider Knight. I am embered. I fear that he's just going to smack me around. Let's find out. Oh, I'm frostbitten. Oh! Alrighty. Well, that was much cleaner than I expected it to be. So we got a little chunk of souls. And we got the Irithyll Straight Sword. So bestowed upon the Outrider Knights. So we know that he was an Outrider Knight just like Vort. It's shrouded in frost, causes frostbite. Every Outrider Knight one day devolves into a beast, constantly hounded by Pontiff Sullivan's black eyes. So we know that Pontiff Sullivan gave the eye rings to his Outrider Knights, and it seems like they kind of torture them to some extent. It gives them power and seemingly drives them insane. And so we find this one here, and Vort up above. Vort obviously seemingly like a specifically powerful and named character. But we'll learn more about all that as we go. So these guys are the reason why the deep axe is not so great. Oh yeah, that feels good. I like that. That's pretty clean. You can do a plunging. Yeah. Twin weapons in this game are really fun. This game doesn't have... Dark Souls 2, for all of its negatives, introduced a different two-handing system. So in Dark Souls, two-handing weapons... Or, sorry, I shouldn't say two-handing. Dual-wielding. So having one weapon, having a long sword in both hands, it didn't really function. It wasn't really of any use to anyone. It was better to just two-hand one longsword, or have one longsword and a shield. But Dark Souls 2 had it so that you could actually equip two different weapons, and then power stance is what it was called. and you would enter a specific stance where you would get access to a different moveset that would utilize both weapons, which was kind of cool. And Dark Souls 3 got rid of the actual stance, but they introduced the paired weapons that have these combined movesets. But you can still dual wield different weapons, and it does have a more flowing, functional moveset than Dark Souls originally did. I actually think... Oh, it doesn't. Interesting. Usually daggers have bleed buildup, but these actually don't. Yeah, I'm gonna like these. I might keep these for longer than I thought I was going to. Honestly, I would actually recommend trying them out. I know that two-handing or dual wielding is maybe a little less comfy than using the shield, and I know daggers don't have the reach, but you know, if you feel like giving them a whirl, I would recommend testing them out and see how they feel. They might not be for you. Daggers aren't usually for me, but I like paired weapons. I really like the speed. Alright, Mildred, or whatever you're called in this game. Oh, I guess she's not. Yeah, she's not an invader, so she doesn't have a name. I'm sure she has. Oh, hello? Oh, no. Somebody call the ambulance. But not for me. Alright, so this is where I got them. These are fun. So I got them down here with the break in the set here. Obviously, she's a nod to Maneater Mildred from Dark Souls, using the Butcher's Cleaver. That character shows up in, I think, every FromSoft game. Or I shouldn't say every FromSoft game, every Soulsborne game. I don't know if there was an equivalent in Bloodborne, but I mean, that character comes from Demon's Souls, and then has been around since. Even in Elden Ring, I ran into her. Alright, so there's these guys all over here. He's gonna scream, but if we look right down here, we can come down here. I would just chill here for a second, because sometimes he'll fall down. Nice. It's one less to deal with. We'll come around here. There are two dogs in here, so don't come all the way around this corner, just come out enough to get this guy's attention and let him walk to you. Oh, there's the other one. Oh, okay. Honestly, it's kind of nice not having the deep axe right now, because the amount of stagger that thing has sends the dogs flying so far away. Oh, excuse me. I got Morin's Ring and the Divine Braille Tome. Oh, whoops, I forgot to do that. But Morin's Ring boosts the power of miracles. Yeah. So not super interesting for us. You're always welcome to try miracles, though. Faith can be fun. And I would say is definitely more fun in this game than it was in Dark Souls. Ow. Okay, no. Okay, alright, okay. Let's not stagger me to death, thank you very much. So they also have daggers and can stagger you to death. Obviously, it's much easier to kill them before they fully transform. But that can be hard to do. The guy that was up on the cliff there, the ones with the stabs, they'll screech and alert all of these ones, and it'll transform them right away. That's why we jumped down, so that we wouldn't end up pulling all of these guys with the summoner guy. I'll come and grab this. Get the Titanite shard. Don't think I'm missing anything here. Nope, okay. Yeah, the deep axe isn't as good on these guys. They have better dark resistance than the enemies we've been facing so far. Hollows don't really have good resistance to really anything. But we're moving into a part where we're not going to be fighting as many hollows. Alright. Yes. I mean, I am going to get the weapons I was looking for pretty soon, but going +2 on these daggers is not really going to hold me back. So we come down to this little ruin area. It's just little things in this game that I really like. I like the way that they set the mood and atmosphere really quickly. You know, you're out here, you're fighting these screaming winged demon things, and then you come in here and you've got NPCs in this little ruin with a tree and a bonfire. It's fun. Gives you an immediate feeling of safety. So both of these guys are not only important NPCs in general, but specifically important for me if I'm going to do the specific ending. But also they're very interesting characters. So. Yeah, right. Oh. So as you can see, big lore implications from what he just said. I know not everybody can understand him. If you can't, that just means that you haven't consumed enough Dark Souls.
Oh, hello. How do you do? I am Anri of Astora, unkindled like you. This is Horace, a friend and travelling companion. Are you too in search of the Lords of Cinder? We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Woods. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the undead legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We seek the Cathedral, home of the grim Aldrich. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in a time of need. May the flames guide your way.
Alright, so this is Henri. And there's going to be some differences depending on the choices that you made in your character creator. So Henri is always the opposite gender choice that you picked in the character creator. So if you picked male body type, Henri appears as female. If you pick female body type, Henri appears as male, which is very interesting as it's not something that exists in any other of the FromSoft media.
Oh yes, Horace. He's not very talkative. But don't think ill of him. He's an upstanding, kind-hearted knight, a fine partner for this grueling journey. Without his help, I would have cursed this onerous duty long ago.
I can tell. He's very wise.
We are well along the road of sacrifice. Beyond we may go the next time we may the flame.
Alright. So, Henri serves to give us quite a bit of direction, telling us that beyond here is the Crucifixion Woods. And then we have the home of the Abyss Watchers, as well as the Cathedral of the Deep, which is where Aldrich is from, where he theoretically will be when we get there. Aldrich being one of our absconded Lords of Cinder. And they say that the next time we meet, we may need help, one or the other, and we can always help each other. Horus gives us the emblem for the Way of Blue, which is an ancient accord. It says that because it's from Dark Souls 2, where this covenant first came into existence, was back then. So Blue Sentinels is given to you by Emma, and that one will pull. It'll pull a Way of Blue member into your world if you get invaded by a player. And so people who want to get summoned put the Way of Blue on, and people who want help in invasions put the Blue Sentinels on, and then they get pulled automatically into the world to help out. Kind of a cool mechanic. But yeah, so we've exhausted both of their dialogues, so we can head back. They might actually be gone right now. Oh no, they're still there. I'm gonna go back and spend these souls. And we see a new face.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Cirrus, of the Sunless Realms, former servant of the divinity. Duties we each bear, but one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
Alright. A little cold, but sure. Whoops. This is what I wanted to do. Some cool ornate armor. A little circlet. And she's got... we can't really see. Estoc, it looks like. So she says she's of the Dark Moon, which may ring a bell from Dark Souls, maybe? How good is your memory? So, the Blades of the Dark Moon was a covenant in Dark Souls. And it was the one that Gwendolyn was the leader of, and the Dark Moon Nidus was a key member of. So we see that it's persisted in this age, in this place. And she says that we don't have much to gain from fraternizing with one another, but she still wishes us well. So we'll leave her alone for now. I don't know if this loser has different dialogue for us yet. Don't know if being the tree triggers it. Yes.
Hasn't it been some time? I'm Leonard, the Ringfinger.
Leonard.
Remember me? I slipped you those red eyes some time ago.
Yes, ages ago, really.
You're making quite an effort of it, so I thought you might like to know. If you yearn for a proper red-eye orb, one that is uncracked, then kill the dark survivor of the land swallowed by darkness. He has been a prisoner for many ages in the deepest cell in all Lothric. I can see it in your eyes. If you didn't invade, didn't pillage, Whatever would you do?
These eyes? I don't think these eyes say a whole lot, man.
If you fancy a prop, then kill me as I can see.
So he tells us to kill a dark wraith, a sole survivor of the land swallowed by darkness. So you might remember the dark wraiths and where we found them in Dark Souls.
Welcome home. Speak very well. Then take no.
Yep. I want that.
Farewell, Ashen Maid.
I'm not talking about levels near as much as I did the first time around. I feel like you probably have a better idea of what you want. Whoops, not that. I feel like heavier into vigor is probably better than heavier into endurance like I'm doing. But, you know, do whatever feels right. If you feel like you're really struggling to block with the amount of stamina that you have, maybe it's worth going a little harder into endurance than vigor like I am. For me, I'm going to be using weapons that drain my stamina pretty quick, and I'm going to be trying to dodge roll on top of that. So I'm looking for all the stamina I can get my hands on. The Chlorancy Ring equipped will help with the stamina recovery, so that'll help you block too. Something to keep in mind. And there are other items and things that we can get to improve stamina. Vitality, I wouldn't really recommend putting much effort into, especially not right now. I feel like you're probably not relying on rolls to get you through stuff. So you're probably not looking to have heavy armor and a good roll. This game is also much more forgiving with the speed of roll. So I believe it's over 60%. Once you hit 60% of your total equip load, you can see equip load right here. Once you hit 60%, does it actually say? No. I think once you hit over 60%, or maybe it's over 50. Over 50 or 60, you start fat rolling, which is where you like slam yourself into the ground and get back up. So I'm technically mid-rolling right now. This is a mid-roll. Whereas this is a fast roll, and maybe you don't really notice a difference on screen. I don't know how well it translates, but I can really feel a difference. But it's not that big a deal. The difference between mid-roll and fast roll in... I don't know what I was wearing. Probably the Knights. The difference between those two in this game is nowhere near as drastic as it was in Dark Souls. You do still get more iframes in a fast roll than you do in a mid roll, and it's just quicker to execute. But it's not. I don't think it's so big that it's going to drastically change things. I think as long as you're mid-rolling, mid to a fat, I would say avoid fat rolling at all costs. Just because if you do need to roll to get out of a way of an attack that would otherwise break your guard, fat rolling really isn't going to cut it. So I suggest keeping it a mid equip load, but it's not hard to do that and still have your stuff equipped. If you do feel like you need to put some points into vitality, then, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I'd focus on your dexterity and your vigor, and then pop endurance as you feel you need to. Okay, so I forgot to do this, so I'm gonna go this way. Is Grey Rat gone now? Yep, Grey Rat's gone to pillage. And we're gonna come over to this side. So we rescued Arena, and now she's here.
Oh, Champion of Ash. Welcome back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire. The gods are ever merciful. My gratitude lies with them and with you.
I am yours now. Your wish is my command.
So this is our primary miracle individual. Firelink, as it kind of did in Dark Souls, exists to kind of group together your key trainers for anything that you might need in your playthrough. So Arena says that she was never meant or destined to become a Firekeeper, as she failed in that path, but she's happy to serve us here at our bonfire with our Firekeeper. And we can learn some miracles from her. She just sells basic stuff right away. Homeward is a homeward bone, but a miracle. Caressing Tears just cures you of poison and other status effects and removes their buildup. And then Replenishment gradually restores health, and Heal just heals you a little bit. They did change miracles in Dark Souls 3 so that a lot more of them say Self and Vicinity. Yeah, I think Heal and Tears. They both do around you little AoE effects, so it made it more fun for co-op. Because Faith is always fun to do in co-op, because you can just heal your host and that kind of stuff. But we can actually give her the Divine Tome we found.
You've brought me a Braille Divine Tome. Now I can tell new tales of miracles. Tales of the greater miracles can be quite the epics. What fun we will have.
So she's blind, so she needs tomes in Braille. The pairing of Faith and Blindness is very common with FromSoft. It's a theme that pops up multiple times in different games, which is, I mean, it's a little, I suppose, on the nose, the whole idea of blind faith, or the idea that blinding yourself can increase your ability to trust and believe in a greater power, something beyond yourself. If you have something less to rely on, then you're relying more on your belief and your internal systems of guidance to take you where you need to go. And in many ways, you're relying on the goodness of those around you as well. You're believing that the goodness in other people will help you along your path. But we'll learn a lot more about Arena as time goes on. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say a lot. A lot more than we know right now, I suppose. Different NPCs have more fleshed out quest lines. Hers isn't super convoluted or in depth, but I like the quest line.
You know, in my home of Karim, I was a nun. I would be pleased to share the tales of miracles with you. Although, to be honest, I only know a few. But if I had a divine tome, I could tell you many tales and more. Oh, only I cannot see. Terribly sorry, but you'll have to find me a divine tome in Braille.
Yeah, so she tells us there about needing the Braille divine tomes.
You know, in my home I would be, although to be, but if I had it, terribly sorry.
So we can tell that being blind is obviously common enough within those of the faith that they need to have divine tomes in Braille. So that's something to note. I'm disappointed that I was stupid enough to give her the book without reading the description, but so it is. So we can buy the Saint's Ring from her, and that allows one additional? I don't know, it actually doesn't say. Just as attunement of additional spells. It does say additional spells as though it gives you 2, but I don't think it does. I think it's just 1. Not that it really matters, but you can equip this and it'll give you access to an extra attunement slot. So, bestowed upon a Kareem saint. In Kareem, the saints give voice to the ancient tales. They memorize countless cumbersome sacred books and read them in sonorous tones, a function for which they are widely renowned. So, miracles are less... they're less kind of manifestations of power, like sorceries are, and they're more literal stories. I don't know if it says... No, is it pretty basic? Miracles are fruit of the study of divine tales, a blessing received from the gods through acts of prayer. Miracle strength depends on the caster's faith. So these, I don't know if you can see it in the picture. You kind of can. Let's see if there's like a particularly dull... That one's actually not too bad. You can kind of see that behind the graphic, it's literally writing. Like we're reading stories of the divine, and it's that power that gives us these miracles, which is interesting. So replenishment is a relic of the old Lloyd faith, whose cleric knights were unfaltering in battle. So Lloyd was the leader of the Way of White Covenant in Dark Souls, which was the covenant that Petrus and Rhea and Vincenico all belonged to. So also tied with miracles. Miracle taught by Morn, the Archbishop's apostle. This is the tale of many deaths surrounding the goddess Catha, of whom Morn was a known follower. So, names, they don't really mean much right now, but, you know, something to keep in mind. So we did get mid-heal, which is just slightly better than heal. And here's the Denial, which is I don't know. I don't know if I'll say very useful. It's an interestingly useful miracle where when you drop below, when you're supposed to die, it will prevent you from dying. I don't actually know. It doesn't say. I don't actually know if it heals you in this one or if it just prevents you from dying and leaves you with 1 health. I'm not sure. It can be useful if you don't just immediately die after it pops. But you also have to have the 15 faith. You need 2 attunement slots to put it on, and it costs 100 FP to use. Compared that to, like, you know, these, which is like half of the same. But you just use it, and it lasts until you would die. So also taught by Morn. Intended to grant the dying a few moments for a final farewell. Tears are shed for the sake of the living, more so than the deceased. So even there it tells you that maybe you won't last that long after it pops. But, you know, kind of just more philosophical stuff from these descriptions. That tears are shed for the sake of the living. Miracle taught to traveling clerics, returns the caster's last bonfire used. It would normally link to one's homeland. Only the curse of the undead has twisted its power, redirecting casters to a bonfire. Perhaps for undead, the bonfire serves as home. So that has interesting implications. We have Force, inflicts no damage but propels foes backwards, staggering them, and can deflect arrows. I think it can also deflect other projectiles, like throwing knives and that kind of stuff. I don't think this one deflects spell casts, but there are ones that can. But
have a pleasant journey, Champion of Ash. I pray for your safety.
Thanks. That's all we have for Arena right now. Alright, I am going to go talk to Yoel. And start that quest line off.
Oh, then shall we begin, bearer of the dark sign? Let your true strength shine.
Okay. I'll take a free figure, thank you very much.
As I have said, alas, but perhaps I may we
swore
pilgrims
so
of London those. Be safe.
The way he delivers that line when you first find him is just always going to be funny to me. Stupid little sounds just always stick in my head.
Gaining admission.
Yeah, you already told me that. Alright, I think I'm good to pick up where I left off in the overworld. Alright, we'll head to the halfway fortress. I think Henri and Horace will be gone. Question mark, question mark. Yes. So they're gone, they've moved on. Alright, so let's go. I'm gonna say the easiest way to deal with this. Is that an item? I know there's an item like behind one of these somewhere. So you can go down this way with these tree spear guys. I find it easier to just drop down this way. It's one of these. Yeah, there it is. Right down to here. So there are these little poison bugs. There's a crucifix guy right here. Oh, I'm going to pick up the weapon I was actually looking for pretty soon, but these daggers, honestly... I may stick with these for a while. They're really fun. Yeah, those guys are pretty pretty hefty, so take your time dealing with them, or alternatively just level up the brigands' twin daggers a little bit and stun lock them to death. So we're gonna come around the outside of this tree because there's another one right here. Nope, don't poison me. Cool little god rays coming down on that tree. Let's see what I'm looking for. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so we come in here. This is locked. Or whatever, it doesn't open from this side. We can actually see another one of the giant crystal lizards in there. And we see a familiar foe. Another Black Knight. So we can come out around him. Come up here. Oh, hello. I knew you were looking at me. I'm not here, shush. Alright, so right here is the weapons that I was actually looking for. Right here is not the weapons that I was actually looking for. Hold on. They're down there. That was the set. So same as the Brigand's twin daggers. You get this, the Brigand set in the same place. You get the set here of the mercenary, and the twin blades are down here. Be very quiet. It can smell your fear. So the sellsword twin blades are very, very, very similar to the daggers, where you two-hand and you get two. Okay, we're good. But it has better reach, and it has a spin move. which is just fun. I think that's it. Just gotta grab this coal. We get the Farron coal, which we can bring back to our good buddy Andre. I'm a little worried that this guy's just gonna... Does this have higher crit damage? Yes. So it has 125 crit. So 125 compared to 110 on the Great Knife. Mailbreaker has 125. Longsword has 100. 100 is the base. Ooh, Rapier has 130. Anyway. So it has pretty high crit damage. Please don't screw me, elevation. Oh. I got robbed. I think I'm actually going to just one-handed shield this. Because I am not confident in parrying in this game even a little. Ooh! That is a lot of critical damage. Oh, whoops. I held the button a little too hard. I forgot that if you hold the two-hand button, it two-hands the weapon in your offhand. Just, you know, hit people with your shield for no reason. Alright, so I got an Ember. Didn't get a Greatsword, but that's fine. I would have liked a shield too, for that matter. Alright, so we cleared out this part. Okay, where am I going now? I think I'm coming back up this way. Oh, too far. And in here. Okay. I just tried to crouch. Which isn't a thing in this game. There's all these tree spear guys. I don't even know that it's worth dealing with them. But you can kind of slowly pick them off if you want. They absolutely do have the ability to one-shot you, but you can, they're pretty slow. You can kind of just wander around and pick up the items here. Shard. And then just kind of follow this wall. Really? Okay, shuffle. Don't poison me. Okay, bye. And then right up here. Yeah, if you just follow along. Oh, there's a mad spirit. Oh, hello. Oh, these boys are upset with me. Oh, jeez. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. Oh, I hate these guys so much. They're so annoying. Stop it. You kind of saw the effect. You've probably seen it multiple times. That little glowing gray aura that comes over me. That's the Eye Ring working. So yeah, if you follow this wall along, you'll reach this part with this little ruin. We're just going to walk up to the ruin. You see the little hole in it. You just walk straight back from the hole. And there's a bonfire. Hello? One of the criticisms that Dark Souls 3 got a lot was that it had too many bonfires. Listen, the game was so good that people just kind of had to come up with reasons to be annoyed with it. But yeah, that was one of the criticisms, is that there were too many bonfires. So if we head in here and up around, there's a boss that way. I think I'm going to skip that for now. And instead, I'm going to go across. So we see there's stairs right there, after all these little baby crabs. But there are a couple of very, very big crabs that don't like when we walk near their babies. So he'll come running for you as soon as you hit the water. So just watch out for him. Make sure you don't spend too much time. I mean, you know, he's not like the toughest enemy in the world, but he's definitely not an easy enemy to deal with. So now that we're up here, we're going to come here. You can see that item there. We're just going to roll off and run towards the item. Let's hope Crab doesn't catch up to us. Oh. Get him into a riposte state. Ow. I accidentally locked onto a crab. Oh. No fault I tried to heal him. The water spray is the best time to get a bunch of hits in. There we go. Like I said, they're not the most difficult fight in the world. They're just not the easiest. But there is, yeah, you can see him right there. There is another one. I think it's just the two here. I think it's just the two. But there are some items in the water that we can get when we kill both of them. Okay, that's everything on this side. I'm going to come up and around so far away here. So there's two hollows here. And the other one is just inside. One is a club and one has a great curved sword that you have to drop down to get. You can't get up. You have to come down from there. Alright, so the easiest way to deal with these two goobers. Yeah, you can see the other one right there. So he's going to start walking out after I get this one's attention. I'm going to get around him. Going to get around him. Going to come here. Goodbye. Good job, boys. Job well done. And that's the easy way. And honestly, isn't the easy way the best way? Alright. So you get the weapons of both of them. You know, you never know. I don't... where... I'm looking at it. Yeah, there we go. Exile Greatsword. Bloodstained Greatsword wielded by one of the Watchdogs of Farron who preside over the slumber of fallen warriors. The blade is a reminder of the Exile's past misdeeds. heaviest of curved greatswords. So it does have a pretty high strength requirement. But it does scale pretty well with both, and you can change its scaling with infusions. So it can be pretty fun to use. It's definitely one of the more interesting great swords. In terms of, it just has a kind of a fun moveset. It has a spin and slash as its skill, so you can do some it's a little more. It allows for more movement, even though it's a curved greatsword. Those can be kind of bulky and unwieldy. So, if you're ever interested in trying a greatsword, I'd recommend that one. I'm going to come up here. I can never remember. I think there's something outside, but I don't remember. Did I actually activate the bonfire down there? Listen, who knows these things? These things are unknowable. I don't think there actually is something on this side. No. Yeah, it's the one covered in rubble. So again, we see the 3 towers with flame on the top. We see the bridge, and we see the castle. So we were all the way up there looking down on this after we killed Vort. 8,000 souls isn't that much, really. Aye. Anyway, come on, big boy. Okay. Isaac, where are you? Uh-oh. Okay. You got it all out of your system? I don't actually know if she has... Ow! I don't actually know if she has FP constraints like a normal player. Oh, I forgot to pick. I wonder if I can just do this. Don't mind me. Come here. Uh-oh. Oh, what have I done? Whoops. I didn't activate the bonfire either. I forgot that they switched the buttons. So in Dark Souls, you double tapped the button to go all the way down the ladder. In Dark Souls, I think 2 and 3, you press circle and hold down to just go all the way down the ladder. So I just, willingly free-falled. That's fine. Heisel got me. She won fair and square. 'Cause 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 unlike in Dark Souls, you just have to light them for them to be active. In this one, you don't actually have to rest at the bonfires for them to count as being check marks. Check marks? Checkpoints? Uh-oh. He's losing it, folks. Okay, I'm actually gonna Ember up again. I wanna rematch. I didn't think that she'd invade with me just being right here, honestly. Ow, would you stop that? Why are you stuck in that animation? Okay, where's Hazel? Hello? Oh, there she is. No. Let's fight on my terms here, not yours. I don't know that she does have the same FP constraints that I'm restricted to. Doing an awful lot of casting for how much FP a character at this level should theoretically have. Really going at it, huh? Oh my god. That daggers so much and hits so hard. Would you stop Farron darting me? Ring around the pillar. Oh god, no, please. Alright, let's try the failed experiment again. You good? Oh. Surely the third time's the charm, right? Surely. Best part of this whole thing is that if I just had the twin blades instead of the daggers, I'd have better reach. She wouldn't be able to roll around as much. Okay, come on, third time. Also, if I just, fought her like a normal person, I'd be fine. Would you stop locking onto the tiny crab? Thank you. Hello. Come out and play. Oh, there you are. Oh my god, that pick hits so hard. Alright. So, you know, sometimes actually fighting is the way to do it. Falling off ladders is just so much more fun, though. Oh boy. Alright, I will go spend these souls, though. But we did get the Heisel pick. Choice weapon of Yellowfinger Heisel, a finger of Rosaria, and a Xanthus Scholar. So I don't know if you remember Xanthus King Jeremiah from Dark Souls. He invaded me in the Painted World, and I killed him and got his ridiculous hat. But it seems that Heisel here studies him and his little escapades and all this. But it's both a weapon and a sorcery staff, and the gold specks. Specks are remnants of long lost sorceries. Yeah, so it seems that he's kind of become a legend of sorts. And he, of course, was from a land of Xanthus. It is to be believed anyway. So this is in imitation of divine creature of Ulasil. I wonder what divine creature that could possibly be, that has a smaller base and a large top. Almost like a vegetable of sorts. A talking vegetable? No, a talking vegetable? No, it doesn't sound plausible. No, I'll have to think about it. Land of ancient golden sorceries. Xanthus clothing is the mark of a researcher of lost sorceries, and the oversized crown is emblematic of their work. Such a curious pursuit is surely nothing to be ashamed of. So yeah. They kind of retroactively made Xanthus more interesting than it was. So it's the intellectual pursuit of lost sorceries. This is what it means to be a Xanthus scholar, essentially. Alrighty. I'm gonna spend these souls first. And get one level. A whole one level. Okay. I only need 600 to get another. I may want to buy some stuff. I did die. So I am gonna actually, do I even? No, nothing yet. Actually I do wanna feel like I'm falling behind on my item reading. Special brew of Sigurd of Katarina. Perfect for travel in its jolly barrel mug. Leave it to Sigurd to discover a drink that even an undead can enjoy. Perhaps his long years spent undead have left him wanting to drain a cup or two and revel as if he were still among the living. That's our boy. I talked about those. The dark sign of an accursed undead. Carriers of the dark sign are reborn after death and eventually lose their minds, turning hollow. And so it is, they are driven from their homelands. So we read that they're driven from their homelands here. We saw in the opening of Dark Souls that the undead are corralled and led to the north to the asylum. In that time, in that land. Which, you know, even adds more credence to the bone shards, pulling them, the very bones of the undead having a homeward instinct to the bonfire, and the homeward miracle being warped and twisted into bringing an undead to the bonfire instead of to their true homeland. Pale tongue. Practice of an infamous troop of invaders who offered them to their speechless goddess. We'll come back to that. The vertebrate shackles are for the mound makers, the mad spirits. Only one such bone is found in the vertebrae, and the mound makers believe it to be a shackle of the gods. In their minds, each victim is another connection, an addition to the family. How morbid. The nature of Lothric is murky, unclear. Oh yeah, we have a Way of White circlet here too. We have a more direct connection to the Way of White, but no actual lore information. Purely information about how it functions. Really, it says that they assume such sin as their own, but are found few and far between. Acting without honor will never be without risk. It's essentially just telling you to be nice when you're playing online. I don't think the Titanite shards have much to offer. Fragments of the legendary slabs. In rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing to monstrous proportion and leaving the scales. So that's what happens to the large Titanite lizards. They have consumed souls, which is not typical for a lot of the more animalistic creatures of the world. And so they become larger and more powerful. We see this also with rats. So the rats devour the fallen corpses of undead, of beings anyway in the world. And as a side effect, they often have humanity on them, and they also consume souls. And so we see larger, more monstrous rats in different places. These are all pretty, I think, simplistic. Yeah. So the gems are for infusions, and then we have the good old Titanite stuff for upgrading. The cell key. There's a shortage of brash thieves in Lothric. These particular thieves likely scaled the wall for the undead settlement. And nothing particularly interesting. So this is the one that Leonard gave us about surviving Dark Wraith. This is the one that we got to go free Irina. Grave no longer receives visitors. It was once the site of a statue of Velka, which it still is. We need to give that to Andre, and we have the Dark Sigil. So I got this from accepting the free level from what's his name? And it's a gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless, pitch-black hole, the gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. The Dark Sigil will never heal, but there is a tale told of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss and brought great comfort to the bearer of the curse. I don't think there's anything particularly useful on these. snake that could have been, but never was a dragon. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it is time for some old-fashioned greed. So we get a little more about Morn. He served the goddess Catha and later became an apostle of the archbishop. They labored together to provide comfort to the suffering. Flynn fought with the wind on his side and was a hero among the weak and poor, yet even his admirers knew that it was little more than an idyllic fable. We already know about the Pontiff's ring, so I am going to talk to Yol.
Oh, I would... Then shall we, bearer?
And take my next free level. Thanks, man.
Be safe, champion of Ash.
Will do. And I'm going to talk to Andre. Give him the coal. Grey Rat's still out on his excursion.
What is good is what needs.
Give coal.
Oh, my. This coal is from the Undead Legion, used to forge the weapons of Farron's Abyss Watchers. A fine prize. I'm honored to be endued with it. Now I'll be equipped to infuse special gems. Praise the gods, eh? Time to put this brawn to use.
Praise the gods indeed. So he's now given us access to different types of infusions. So we got poison, which is affected by the luck stat. We have refined, which is what kind of creates quality builds out of non-quality weapons. So a quality build just means that it scales equally, or at least, I shouldn't say equally, I should say it scales reasonably with both strength and dexterity. It comes from, the term quality comes from Demon's Souls, where that was a specific upgrade path, was the quality path, that did the same thing as this refined path does, where it evens out the scaling of both strength and dexterity. But this is probably what you're going to be looking for. This is what I'm going to be looking for. We need a sharp gem to make the sharp Brigand's Twin Daggers is a sharp whatever weapon you're looking at. And you can see that the attribute bonuses, it's increasing our dexterity scaling by quite a lot at the cost of strength scaling. But we don't really care about strength scaling because we're not leveling that. And then the heavy gem is the exact same, but for strength instead of dexterity. Oh, excuse me. Alright. So, I don't have a sharp gem yet. Alright. So, what do I have? I have 6 shards. I need 8 to upgrade it. Oh no, I only need 6 for the daggers again. I am very tempted to upgrade the daggers again. I'll be honest. I just really like the reach of the twin blades. Yeah. Let me just hold off. Leave them at +2 for right now.
Ah.
Okay, is there anything I need? I am gonna buy... sure, why not? I'll just use my souls and buy some pine resins. With paired weapons, resins become even more useful because you get so many more hits in with twin weapons that having each hit dealing bonus damage from the resins or from a magic weapon is just, it's just a lot of damage all at once. Alright. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to progress through the Farron Keep area And then I'll double back after I reach the checkpoint here, and we'll do that boss that I mentioned earlier, and then we'll come back this way. I think that's the way I want to do this. Okay, get my daggers out. So this is the swamp that I talked about that we will be coming up on shortly. Watch out for the slugs. It is indeed a poison swamp, as Miyazaki notoriously loves his poison swamps. There are like 17 of them in Elden Ring, which is just so good. It's so much fun. There's like a whole new type of poison in Elden Ring that's like, it's like toxic on steroids. So of course the madman made a whole zone where it's just one giant rot swamp. It's great. I love it. I love him. He's such a genius. But you can, I mean, it doesn't really matter right here because it's not impeding my movement. But deeper in the swamp, it'll start to become difficult to move through it. So that quick step will come in handy. Alright, there's the Estus Shard I was wondering if I had. Don't think there's anything up there. Okie dokie. Grab this. So we see we're heading up to a tower. We're gonna run into some Gru. Let the spirit guy leave. Get this guy's attention. Watch out for that kick. You can get backstabs and everything on them. Well, that was a weird thing that happened. There we go. Oh, ow. Rude. Oof. Critical damage on these knives is real good. Alrighty. One more? No? Alright, so there's some interesting stuff here. So we've reached the top here with this tower with the flame on top. Then we have this little fire here. If we look at the stone, so we've got, first of all, it's important to note the symbological importance of the fire here. And then if we look, we've got what seems to be a tree with a figure cloaked in some kind of hooded garb. I don't know. Could mean anything. Alright, we'll extinguish the flame, which will put out the fire of the tower. So we've lit one of those, and it shows us where we're going. Such a beautiful zone. Alrighty, so we can come get this. There is another Gru here somewhere, isn't there? Oh yeah, he's right there. So we can see there's another tower right ahead of us, and we can see there's another tower over there. So he'll aggro when you come out from grabbing that item. Alrighty. Yeah, I'll come down here. So here is the sledging part of the swamp. Oops. I'll take that. Oh. Okay, alright. Let's see how this goes. These ones are a nightmare. At least I got the high critical damage. Okay, easy peasy. They are the worst. Honestly, give them a try. You have good range with the Uchigatana, but if you're really struggling, just avoid it. Just avoid them. They're extremely aggressive. They jump all over the place, and they have this like jumping grapple attack where they will jump onto your head and deal a bunch of damage, and then will become enraged and have a buff that causes their damage to get even higher. There's not necessarily a specific trick to traversing the swamp here. I'd say just kind of the fires exist for a reason. They're trying to guide you the right way, and at certain times you can see the fire on the towers to help you navigate, but you're just trying to get to each tower. And it's good to explore the swamp too. There's a lot of really good items that you're gonna want to get. I don't even know if I'd ever use a moss clump unless you're really desperate. The poison doesn't deal that much damage that it's really worth stressing about. Got a little bridge here. You can see a bonfire down there. Alrighty, I'm gonna break this. So this time, again, we got the fire here, and around it is this mass of skulls and skeletons. Could mean anything, man. Alright, yeah, we get the point. Fire goes out. So this guy is going to breathe poison mist. Best if you just pull these guys one at a time down here. And then afterwards you can run in and kill the poison breath guy. Oh, I just got missed a flask. Hello? Okay. Yes? Hello? What? The disrespect. What are you doing? Oakley dokley. Just gonna go ahead and run at this man. And that's them dead. Alright. So we can grab this bonfire. I don't know that I'm gonna bother resting just so that I don't reset everything. Trying to remember with my brain. So this is where we saw those prisoners lighting. And then this door is closed. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So we came down there, came here and grabbed the undead bone shard, and now we're gonna come over here to this ladder. Alright. Head on up. And up, and up, and up, and up, and up. And I'm actually going to go this way. And up some more. And there is a lizard right here. So seemed to become confused and didn't know where to go. And where are we? Right here. See a little bit of a doorway. Pop this. Get the Dream Chaser's ashes. We'll drop down here. Come over to this bonfire. And then we'll come over here. And say hello to the old wolf. I will pray to the old wolf of Farron. And I will absolutely join Covenant. Because I love the Watchdogs of Farron. I don't think I have any. No. So, we know that the Undead Legion are sworn by Wolf's blood to prevent the spread of the Abyss. So there was another character, theoretically, sworn by Wolf's blood to protect and prevent the spread of the Abyss. And we dealt a lot with that man in the DLC for Dark Souls, where we rescued his wolf and upheld his legacy, and obviously we upheld it to a point where even in this land, in this time, the legend of Artorias seemingly endures. And whether this is Sif or simply just a wolf is up for some discussion and some debate. I'm inclined to say it's not, and that it's simply, similar to how we meet Sigurd. He's not Sigmire, or at least, as far as we're concerned, as far as we're told, as far as we know, as far as we see, he's not Sigmire, but it seems that he bears not only a resemblance, but an uncanny voice similarity, and indeed a disposition similarity. And maybe it's less so that direct things exist in space and time from then till now, and more so simply that some things are arguably inevitable, and regardless of how far we come, some constants always remain. Some figures, some events, some impacts in the timeline will ripple until the end of it. But regardless, this is the old wolf of Farron. And this is kind of as much of an interaction as we get. It doesn't speak to us, and it just stays like this. It doesn't seem to be dead, but nor does it really seem to be living. But this is the wolf from which the wolf's blood comes, that the Abyss Watchers are sworn by. Did I actually rest at this bonfire? No, I will rest at this bonfire. Alright. We come out above the swamp to the beautiful sunlit sky. We see again, we're greeted with Lothar Castle above, and these same ruins and architecture that we saw from above. So we'll head up this way. I may struggle with this. We're gonna find out. That's for sure and for true. Alright, so let's grab this. So over here we see a relatively familiar sight. We see what looks like one of the many demons we fought in Dark Souls. Ow. I don't even think I realized he could hit me with his tail like that. Oh no. Is he going to throw me off the bridge? Please don't throw me off the bridge. Oh, he's just going to kill me. Okay. He almost threw me off the bridge. I was not paying enough attention to the grapples. I honestly kind of forgot about the grapples. It's all good. Almost had him. He's basically just like a mini boss. And completely optional. You don't have to deal with him. I probably should remember to send this back. I probably will die again. Alrighty, let's go, big boy. You and me. Actually, I'm kind of tempted to try. Take these. Not exactly getting the most out of this plant residue. Oh. Too late. I'm doing my Elden Ring slam dodges. Oh boy. What a way to go, man. What a way to go. I do forget a lot about my quick step too. I should be using that when I overcommit with the animations. One of the many pitfalls of the paired weapons is that when you get into a chain, you have to commit a lot to the animation time before you can actually get your roll off. Alright, big boy, come here. Oh, come on, I rolled. Wait, what? Oh my god, that just straight up killed me. I was not expecting that. Alright, okay, cool. This is going well. To be honest, you really should have, like, +4 weaponry when you're coming up here and through this whole little section. +3 anyway. But I feel like +4 is more what you should be looking at for this. You can definitely leave this till after you do the other boss in the Crucifixion Woods. Yeah, that's right. Not this time. To be fair, I shouldn't be rolling in the direction his arm's moving. I should be rolling. I should be rolling with the direction of his hand. I should be rolling into where his hand's coming from. There we go. I don't know why that was such a difficult thing for me to pull off, but here we are. So we got a soul from him. We'll get souls from him some here. Why does it take so long? Did I pick up my souls? What? Am I losing it? I thought I had like 5,000 souls on me. I thought he gave like a fair... I don't know, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, we'll pick up the items in the area. And we'll come over here. And so instead of going back, we're going to run all the way down. So you can just come down here and just skip him entirely. You don't have to fight him. But we're going to come on down these platforms. You can see the one still lit. And the ones that we put out already. And then I make a run for that lizard. Nice. Get that large shard. Dragon Crest Shield. Lightning Spear. Crusty Dragon. And another lizard. For another large Titanite Shard. So this is the dragon that we saw up there, where all of the pilgrims came to die, and where Yol failed to die, as was ordained. So we're closing off gameplay loops. We're seeing the places that we... Oh, okay, I actually don't want to follow him. Kill these guys first. Okay, so he just screamed so that I'm gonna wake up. Okay, alright, okay, I get it. You have daggers too. Alright, now come up here. Kill this guy. Okay, bye. swore there was an item up here. What was in my mind? Alright. I will come down and kill this guy. And then I'm going to stand here and do a quick quit and reload. So yeah, I think I mentioned in Dark Souls, but same is true for Dark Souls 3, that if you miss a lizard, if he runs away and disappears, if you just quit and reload, he'll just be back at the spot that he starts from. There we go. Get a heavy gem. Didn't really need that, but you know, we have it nonetheless. Now we'll come back up here and we'll fall down and back to this side. We got everything we needed to get here, so we can head back down. All the way. Alrighty. Okay, so we'll go back down to the swamp. Keep in mind that there's a bunch of slugs. And then pop off and do a plunging attack. Okay, so the next tower is over on this side of things. If I'm remembering right. Oh! I have no idea why, but these things give me a sense of dread that I cannot explain. Oh my god. You see these goobers back to be problems again. Oh my, okay, you can't get in here. Please do not cast spells at me the whole time. Oh no. Please, I don't want to be cursed. Please. No, God, no, please, God, no. Yeah, that's right. Just leave. Okay, big boy's leaving. Now I can show you this. Okay, clear out. Clear out. Come on, get out of here. Go, beat it. Come on. You're ruining the atmosphere here. Get out of here. Go. Alright. Top off. There is an open chest here, but there is a familiar sight. We get the golden scroll from a corpse curled up at the foot of this giant mushroom. Swear to God, man. And there's another chest here with the antiquated set. So the golden scroll. Oh, yeah, there's much earlier. Golden scroll chronicling the vast research of the Xanthus scholars. Learn the arts of Elysiel. In the lost land of Elysiel, Sorceries orchestrated light and were said to shine in golden hues. And we also got the antiquated set. Okay. That sure says nothing. What is that? Well, these really don't have a whole lot to say, do they? But regardless, that is Dusk's set. That is clearly Elizabeth. And potentially this is Dusk. So we have an abundance of Artorias themes. We have the place where Elizabeth sprouted. It is perfectly reasonable to believe then that this area we're in now is what Olisiel would have been in Dark Souls. I'm just going to make a run for the tower. Oh, this isn't the tower. Oh, yes, it is. So, we are... Oh, it's one of these ones. Oh, I should have realized. I didn't realize he didn't have a weapon on him. Oh, thank God. Jeez Christ, these ones are terrifying. Alrighty. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay. Alright. And on this one, we have what looks to be 4 regal figures and some kind of tendril with the fire. Alright, and the way forward is open. So, in case you haven't been able to figure out what I'm pointing out here, these are the 4 kings with the abyss spreading out. We saw the tree with the woman being the bed of chaos, and we saw the pile of skulls being Gravelord Nito. So we see the depictions of these ancient Lord Soul figures with the fire in the center there. Clearly a kind of symbol of their soul at the core of them. You creepy dude. I don't know why they just give me the heebie-jeebies so bad. They're so... I mean, look at them. Freaking terrifying. Look at that face. Just how imposing a presence they are. I'm just going to Homer Bone. I can't get another level, so I will go back to the shrine. And actually, I did get a Estus Flask shard and an Undead Bone shard, so I have to do both of that. Both of that. Got a brief glimpse of Hawkwood's shield there.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak very well. Then take.
Alright. I'll go to 20 endurance. Thank you very much.
Farewell, Ashen One.
I don't actually know if I've died enough to get another level from Yol.
Oh, I would do any. Then shall we bear?
Yes, I did. That's honestly kind of tempting. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to do that now.
Be safe.
And then I have to remember to buy a magic weapon from him in the near-ish future. Grey Rat's still gone. Can I come up here?
Ah, 'tis good, wasn't he?
I didn't get a sharp gem, right? No. I need to reinforce my Estus Flask. I get 8 now. So the Estus Flask shard system in this game is, I think, a little bit better. In the early game, it's a little bit more punishing just because you have so few, but you get access to more pretty quickly, and you end up having quite a lot consistently without having to use resources to kindle different bonfires and use those bonfires to make sure that you have your max number of flasks and all that nonsense. So Cirrus is gone. Oh, actually, maybe I'll take a quick detour and do Leonard's quest. So Hawkwood is missing, which is interesting because he talks a lot about the Abyss Watchers, and he says that he is a deserter. We've just opened the door back to the Abyss Watchers. So I am going to take a quick detour to the Tower on the Wall bonfire to progress with Leonard's quest line. Here. Let the knight leave. Okay. And, oh yeah, right, I forgot about you. We'll open this with the key Leonard gave us, and we'll head down the lift. And here we see a dark wraith surrounded by fallen Lothric knights. We'll top off. Oh, just backstab. Watch the dark hand. Oh, hello. God, that backstab thing is a... Watch the kick. That'll drain a lot of your stamina. They are essentially the same enemy they were in original Dark Souls. They got that dark hand shield. Owie. And same thing, where if he grabs you with the dark hand, he will deal. Would you stop being stuck in that animation, please? Oh my goodness, could you not? There. So we get the red eye orb automatically, and then he has dropped his leggings for us. Very kind of him. I accidentally sent the lift back up. Whatever, I have a lot of these. Actually, I probably should go back to the shrine just to tell Leonard we killed him, but we can do that later. Okay. So instead of heading to the ruins, I'm gonna go to the Crucifixion Woods. Alright, now we'll do this section here. So I'm just gonna come straight down here, and up here, and in here. And I'm gonna run right for this guy, kill him. And I need to kill this guy. I think one of the spear guys has made it in. Sure did. Kill the sorcerer. And kill the spear guy. Okay. Now we'll kill all the regular hollows. Get the Heretic Staff. I think there's one more guy on this side of this wall. Yeah. Might as well get the souls. Alrighty. There's these goobers down here. There's two of them, one there and one right in front of the fire. There is, I think, a tome, a Braille tome there. I think that's what that is. I can't remember for sure. I don't really want to. I think I'll clear this first. There's a guy here. This way, and there is a lizard. I'm going to sprint, run on this side, push him into the corner. Crystal gem. Okay, gotta watch out here. There is a spear guy and a sorcerer guy. I hope the spear guy comes down to fight me. Oh, spear guy. Yeah, he's getting there. Slowly but surely. Come here. Hey. Ow. Okay. Well, see you later. Ow. Okay. Well, nothing should go wrong if I keep clanging off the walls for no reason. We'll grab is it? Grab this. And look up down here. And back in here. I think I will. Yeah, I might as well come down here and grab the item that was over here that you get from coming down this way, which is a golden falcon shield. Okay, run back to the stairs before the crab eats me. Alrighty. So we made our progress on that side. We'll come back around. Alright. And this time we'll come out here and around. And up here. And over here. And here we find Orbeck.
Well, this is unexpected. I don't often have visitors. What do you want? This is my study that you've happened upon. If you haven't any business, I've reading to get back to.
Alright. Jeez.
How intriguing. Very well. Indeed, I am a sorcerer, with plenty to share. However, what champion demands service without recompense? Clearly, you're not that sort of man. So you will make me a promise that in exchange for my teaching, you will bring me knowledge in the form of scrolls detailing sorcery's secrets. Well, can you assure me of this?
Yeah, sure thing.
Very well. You're no fool. I take it you understand the weight of a promise. I am Orbeck, of Vinheim, unkindled one. I shall teach you sorceries. We will learn together. It shall be like our very own school.
Who is freaking out? Is it one of you? Is it you? Oh. Okay. Got him. Alright, so that was Orbeck. And he says he'll teach us sorceries as long as we bring him new scrolls to learn from. Ow. Rude. Sorcerer just wow. Came in. I should not have done that. Well, that all worked out in the end. Grab Sage Ring and Sorcerer Set. Yep. Obviously somebody who couldn't quite make it to Orbeck in time. This way. And back in. Alright. So I only have 4 flasks. Sorcerer Staff. Okay, yeah, that just leads out to where I already was. Okay, so up here is the boss. I don't know if I'm gonna pull this off. I am gonna just see if I can get some better magic resist. A little chunky, but not too bad. Oh, I guess I don't need this. Oh yeah, peak fashion. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I am not two-handing the weapons. Oh my god. Scuffed. Absolutely scuffed. So this is ultimately just a DPS race where he'll pop up, you want to run at him, hit him for as much damage as you can humanly muster before he disappears. After a certain threshold, more than one will spawn. Owie. That's why I'm discernment. Heal. So now I should be getting multiple Crystal Sages spawning. So they will die in one hit. The real one has the purple magic. Please no. Please no, please no, please no, please no, please no, please no. Oh. Aye. He's not the hardest of bosses, but if you end up in a situation like that where multiple sage puppets have direct line of sight to you, so they can hit you with spells while you're trying to deal as much damage to him as humanly possible, it can get messy pretty quickly. I mean, it didn't help that I messed up at the beginning there, and the other one's going to be up here. We can just go through the fog this time. He'll drift towards me. Okay. Where are you, bud? Okay, I'm gonna top off. I'm gonna run over here and grab my souls real quick. Oh, I knew the music changed there. Okay, up this over here. Oh, he's not in a good spot. There's gonna be multiple enemies. Oh no, I'm just gonna die. Yeah. I'm getting too impatient. Too impatient. But, also you should just objectively have a higher investment into your weapon than I do into mine. That was quick. Ow, that's stupid. So when you get him to teleport, it'll kill off any of the puppets that are still around. Okay. There's a hail spell he just cast. Okay, once more. Oh, there he is. There we go. That was a little more methodical. Not a bad idea to kill off a couple of the puppets before you rush to him. Your damage output by the time you get here is probably going to be much better than mine was. These are only +2 right now. Yours should be +3. It can probably even be +4 by the time you get here, if you follow along with the direction that I've gone. But yeah, I don't think you'll have as much trouble with this boss as I did. I'm kind of handicapping myself for no reason. I could choose to either put the investment into the twin blades that I was going to do, or I could choose to put a heftier investment into the twin daggers, but I'm choosing to do neither. And then I'm acting as though I have a higher damage output than I do. So this is my own fault. I'm just glad I didn't try to fight the Abyss Watchers like this. Although it would have been funny. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do some housekeeping, and then that'll be it for this stint. And then I'll probably do more over the weekend, because I don't work the weekend, which is always nice. But yeah, I am enjoying this. Dark Souls 3 is definitely not the most... I'm not the most confident with it, which, I mean, I feel like shows. I mean, I do also choose to play when I am at my worst mentally, but I'm definitely not as well versed in this game. I'm not as well grounded in this game as I am in Dark Souls original, and like even Bloodborne. I'd say I'm more of a pro at than this, but I do really like Dark Souls 3, and it is fun playing through. But I am gonna actually, I didn't even look. Oh, I'm embered now anyway. Doesn't matter. Have I died enough times for Yol?
Oh, then shall
I have indeed. How many have I done? 3? So this is 4. I'm gonna take some more damage.
Be safe, Jam.
Alright. Is Greatsword back? Yes. just need to defeat a boss, I'm pretty sure. It can be the Abyss Watchers, or you can do Abyss Watchers before you do Crystal Sage, or Crystal Sage before you do Abyss Watchers. I suggest Crystal Sage first, because he's an easier boss. Abyss Watchers are your first Lord Soul boss, so, you know, you should be as beefy as you can.
You've come at a good time. It took some prowling, but I finally made a score. Go on, have a gander.
See, he's fine.
You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks, I suppose.
He's had some time to process. He's feeling a little better now. So he comes back. He's got much more choice in his stock now. He's got quite a lot of options. He sells some pretty good arrows. He sells the large arrows, which are the best basic arrow. He also sells fire arrows, which can be very useful, but they also are quite expensive. He sells some embers, but he has limited stock. So when you see that little number above the soul cost, he has a limited stock. So you can only buy 3, 4, one of this, 6 of these. Every time he goes out to pillage, he'll come back with more embers to sell, which makes sense because, you know, you find them by killing things, really. So I do want to read the Divine Blessing. So in this game, it says that it was blessed by the Queen of Lothric, and she was married to the former king Osiris, and was initially revered as a goddess of fertility and bounty. After giving birth to Ocelot, her youngest, she quietly disappeared. That's not. I'll reiterate before that becomes relevant again, because it's going to take a while, but it's a good thing to keep in mind. I don't think there's anything else he sells that is particularly lore interesting. Oh my. But he sells some more weapons, sells this Zweihander, which is very, very good. It's a quality weapon. It doesn't require too much strength to use. It is an ultra great sword. It is fun, but maybe not your style. But he sells the Pontiff Knifed Curved Sword. Pontiff Knight Curved Sword. I don't know if I said that right the first time. Which is just a basic curved sword. It has good range. It's a quality scaling right now with a fairly low strength requirement. I think the base for the Knight is 13 strength anyway, so you're going to have enough for it. And then it's 18 dex. It might be worth checking out if you want some variety in your build, because it is fun. It has, like, I like curved swords. They're kind of fun. They have, like, nice sweeping attacks, and it also has, like, nice combos you can do. I always like combos. Big fan. But it says that the blade appears to be eaten away by insects, making it lightweight but also brittle. You can actually see, like, the holes in the blade itself in the actual icon. But they're wielded by Pontiff's Knights, frigid spirits that linger in Urethil. So yeah, I think that's worth checking out. If you like curved swords at all, I'd say that's definitely worth checking out. And especially because you can get the scaling much better with sharp infusion if you want to do that. S-Doc, you know, again, I'm not much of a thrusting sword enjoyer, but obviously the spear is the spear, same as it was in Dark Souls. Uh-oh. I'm getting yawny. Alright. He also sells the Pontiff Knight Shield. I don't think it's of really any use to you. But it is cool, and oh, okay. It doesn't have any more information for us about the about Sullivan or the Urethil area. But, you know, anyway. And then he has the Warrior set and the Knight set. He also has the Assassin set with the Thief Mask. Yeah. That's really it for Grey Rat. He just says the same thing again. But yeah, important to note that you can sell things pretty easily in this, and it shows you, like, what what soul amount you'll get. And as far as I know with the boss souls, the amount that it shows you can sell them for is exactly the amount that you get if you consume it. It's always the same. I know it's that way for these. It always shows the amount that they're going to be. I'm not 100% on the boss souls. It might be worth looking up if you're unsure, but I'm like 98% sure that you get the same amount whether you consume it or sell it. This is just an easier way of knowing, if you need exactly 7,500 souls for a level, it's easier to get that exact amount without wasting things by just doing it by selling. But you can also sell just things that you'll never use. Things aren't worth a lot, but instead of using the bottomless box, I usually just sell things that I'm not going to use.
Goodbye.
But yeah. So again, he says, what good is thievery? When he's cooped up like this. So he's already thinking about his next prowl. Do I actually have anything for Andre? I don't have a shard. I do have a bone shard, though. I think I actually read this description. Undead bones that yet burn. Cast to boost the recovery provided. The Bonfire Cinders are the bones of undead, and a bone that still burns is a fresh cinder indeed. Before feeding upon death, one must first pray to it. It's interesting. So the Bonfire Cinders are the bones of the undead. So the bonfires itself are kind of built upon the undead. And so kind of one must exist with the other. And we know that when the fire fades or begins to fade, that's when the undead curse crops up again. And the bonfires, are always there as kind of the other side of that coin. But yeah, I don't have anything in. I didn't get... Still don't have a sharp gem. I have to, before I do the next part, I really have to decide what weapon I'm using. I do have some more ashes for her. We picked up the Dream Chaser's ashes. Before the old wolf.
Ashen one, what woeful umbral ash is this? This barren dust, stuff of a fool, won't yield aught. Where didst thou happen upon the stuff? Tell me for the sport.
Sure.
Oh yes, I see. Clinging to lofty dreams in this dying world, more's the pity. It must come from one most foolish indeed. Wouldst thou not agree?
I'm also in on the joke. So same thing where when you give her certain umbral ashes, she will get more ember stock as well, but she also has limited stock of embers. So the Hidden Blessing fully restores your FP, the counterpart to the Divine Blessing, but also blessed by the Queen of Lothric. There is a grave in Lothric that sees no visitors, a dark place where rootless warriors rest. The Queen of Lothric alone cared to wish the poor souls good fortune. Again, quite an important description, but I'll mention it again when we get closer to when it's actually prevalent, because it's gonna take a minute. But this here is one of the reasons why I said that investing at least till +3 is never going to be a detriment, because you can buy these Titanite shards from the Handmaiden for only 800 each. So it's pretty easy to just buy whatever Titanite shards you need. You're never really going to be stuck. I do want to get the tower key, but I think I want to hold off on that for now. She doesn't sell anything particularly interesting for weaponry, but she does sell the boss armor sets. So the Exile set we got when we killed the 2 NPCs that fell down the ladder. And so it's the Iron Mask of the Watchdogs of Farron's Keep. After the Legion's Watchers became Lords of Cinder, the wolf blood dried up, and Farron was consumed by a festering wood. Within the wood, an emaciated old wolf commands Watchdogs to defend the sanctity of sleeping warriors. Both the exiles were surely Watchdogs themselves, for Farron has always been a land of itinerants. My brain ceased to function for a second there. Yeah, so when the Legion's Watchers became Lords, the wolf blood dried up, and Farron was consumed by a festering wood. So it seems that the emaciated old wolf is kind of watching over the graves of the warriors who've fallen on the land that the festering wood has consumed, which we know is, or at least we know insofar as we can, that the same land that is Farron now was once Ulysseal and the Darkroot Garden and the Darkroot Basin and all that. All that land is now Farron. No more. So we have the Sage's big hat. An enormous hat that completely obscures the face belonged to twin gurus known as the Crystal Sages. The pair were said to be successors to the great sage Logan, and this big hat is a symbol of their pedigree. So it has a hefty price point, but I can already tell that you're probably going to want it. It is fun. But we have a direct link to Dark Souls here, where it literally calls out the great sage Logan and says that these 2 twin sages were kind of following in his footsteps, hence the hat. But as you kill different enemies and bosses, their armor sets will appear here. So right here is the life ring that you could have gotten as your starting gift. In Dark Souls 3, they definitely tried to level out the usefulness of the gifts much more. And so my reasoning behind choosing the branch is just because it's the only one that kind of gives you a different in-game event, if you can call it that. The others are kind of just, well, you can get it slightly earlier and it might help you out. But, I agree that really an argument can be made for any of them, with the exception of potentially the cracked red eye orb and the divine blessing.
Be short, Mum.
Ashen one, Alright, what can I get with these? 2? I can't get 3. I can get 2 though, right? Oh, come on. Alright, I'm gonna take 1 point in dexterity.
Farewell, Ashen One.
And that's 50.
Welcome. Very well, then take.
I will take a little bit more health.
Farewell, Ashen Maid.
While I'm embered, I do have a pretty reasonable health bar, so I'm feeling pretty good. So Hawkwood is now back.
Gaining admission, even a kind.
So he doesn't have any new dialogue, but he did seem to disappear there for a moment. So we're going to come up to Leonard and tell him about the Dark Wraith.
Aha, you found found a proper red-eye. Brilliant. I knew you were no ordinary man. Now invade and pillage all you like. And if you grow weary of your duty, you too may become a finger. Come on, give yourself to Rosaria of the Cathedral of the Deep.
Give ourselves to Rosaria and become a finger.
Now invade and come on.
So he said that he was one of the fingers when we met him. Oh, I shouldn't have jumped off. We'll take this Crystal Sage Soul over to our bud over here. See what we can get for that.
Aha, that's all.
I have. So, oh yeah, right. We also have the Soul of a Stray Demon. So we can get Crystal Hail, unique sorcery developed by the extraordinary Preacher Twins known as the Crystal Sages. So we've had now multiple instances where it's twins and there's Crystal Sages. So we fought the Crystal Sage, a singular, and we fought a bunch of puppets, but there was only one sage there. So there is another Crystal Sage somewhere in the world. And whatever path that sage has gone on is a different question entirely. In a pact said to have been formed long ago, one of the sages allied with the Undead Legion in order to train the sorcerers of Farron. So the one that we fought, so close to Farron and so close to the Undead Legion, clearly is that one who allied himself with them. And so it's a question of what happened to the other. So we get we can get Boulder Heave from the Soul of a Stray Demon. A herd of a stray demon of stifled flame spews a boulder from one's mouth. The boulder is heavy but shatters easily. And this is a pyromancy. And it's quite a fun pyromancy, and I used it on my pyromancy playthrough. And it's pretty goofy. We can get the Crystal Sage's Rapier. Nothing particularly interesting for its lifetime research conducted by the sages. It boosts item discovery when you're holding it. We can get the Demon Great Axe, which we already looked at. And we can get something very interesting. We can get Havel's Ring, coming from the Soul of a Stray Demon. Why it comes from the Soul of a Stray Demon, I don't really know. I don't know if there's really anything you can glean from that. Other than the Stray Demon is rock, really, at this point. Less so fire and more so rock. He's kind of seen better days. But it's a ring for warriors keen on heavy accoutrements, increases maximum equip load. The ring was named after Havel the Rock, the battlefield compatriot of Gwyn, the First Lord. And here we have our first true callback to Gwyn. The art of war has been a constant since ages past, and those who would follow in Havel's footsteps are no fewer now than in his own day. So that kind of gives us an idea. I mean, I feel like the Stray Demon in and of itself, too, gives us an idea of time. So the Stray Demon is essentially just crusty rock at this point. And Havel was the battlefield compatriot of Gwyn, and the art of war has been a constant since ages past, and those who would follow in Havel's footsteps are no fewer than in his own day. So we're seeing a lot of these link backs and callbacks to Dark Souls being in the past, long ago in the past, many, many ages ago in the past. Not just years, but ages of man, really, have passed since we last saw them. So I would say that Havel's Ring is definitely worth grabbing to be able to use more without having that fat roll.
Now.
But, up to yourself. when and when you'd like to get that, because it does cost 5,000 souls, which isn't huge, but you know, if you've been using your souls, you might not have a stockpile, but I have a little bit of a stockpile here of consumable souls, and I mean, you can always use like these two. Like, I don't think you're gonna want anything from either of these two souls, but yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm caught up on everything. I don't have any divine tomes. No, but I did talk to Orbeck, and I told him that I would give him any scrolls. So let's talk to Orbeck.
Oh, you're back then. Again. I'm Orbeck of Vinheim, here to teach you sorceries. Let us begin with the basics. The ideal sorcerer bears the twin faces of the dragon. You could at least act as if you're paying attention.
The ideal sorcerer bears the twin heads of the dragon. So we'll give him the sorcery scroll here.
Oh my. Well, this is very unusual. It's from Ulyssil, an ancient land of golden sorceries. Not even the Dragon School possesses such a long-lost scroll.
That's right. But I sure do.
What would the Xanthus scholars say with their ridiculous headwear? They would simply slaver over this find.
Yeah. Yeah, those scholars with their ridiculous headgear. Losers, am I right? am I right, Orbeck? Or am I right? Alright, so he sells quite a lot of sorceries. He sells magic weapon for less than Yol sells it for, which is why I haven't purchased it up to now. But he also sells just kind of all of the sorceries. He is our primary sorcery trainer. He sells a bunch of things. I don't think any of this has particularly interesting lore. I mean, even here, like, we see Heavy Soul Arrow, which is a staple of Dark Souls magic, and it calls it a practical sorcery from long ago, right? Farron Dart, Sorceries of the Undead Legion of Farron. Alrighty. Ephemeral Blade only exists as an extension of the caster. Yeah, Farron Flash Sword, Sorcery of the Undead Legion. Emphasize speed over power. Yeah, nothing particularly interesting. Pestilent, sorry. Mist is interesting. A body caught in a silent mist cloud lies still, while the face twists in a tortured scream. The names of these learned sorcerers became feared for this gruesome spectacle. So it deals damage based on max HP, which can be interesting. It can be a funny way to cheese some bosses. Cast Light, sorcery from Ulyssil. So we have like all these Ulyssil spells. It doesn't really give us any particular lore, but so this is a giant wall of light that deflects spells, mainly used in PvP and not in mainly used in PvP and not in PvE, but
come again.
I will, but of my own volition, because you told me to. Let's get that straight. Hear me? Yeah, that's right. Alrighty. That's gonna be that for that. Until next time.